Hey peeps, welcome back. We are talking The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Season 5, Episode 2. Well, you guys, this has been one crazy week. So, I had some contractors working on my house, and on Thursday, somehow, while they were outside drilling, they drilled a hole into the water pipe inside of my house, and my basement flooded. They were able to put a fix on it, and then they were supposed to come back on Friday, and when they came back yesterday, which was Friday, they broke the pipe in 3 different places to the point where we couldn't turn the water off at all. I had to call the fire department. They came out and tried to dig up my front yard so that they could get to the main valve to turn the water off outside, but the key to use theirs wasn't long enough, so we had to call the city. While we waited an hour and a half to 2 hours for the city to arrive, the water was just running in my basement for probably a total of 2.5 hours. Some things in the basement totally got destroyed. It has been a really long week. It has been a really rough week. Well, I try to look at the silver lining, and the silver lining is at least I'm able to clean out my basement. I got rid of things that I don't need. But I'm taking a break to not think about it. I just got finished working in the basement to talk about the Real Housewives. So let's do that, you guys. So the episode starts out with Bronwyn and Lisa, and they're just going over the actions of the night before. Bronwyn, she still has an attitude. She is still upset over the fact that Brittany called her outfit a costume. And I thought to myself, Bronwyn, let it go. She mistook your fluffy heart-shaped coat as a costume. Everybody is not that fluent in couture and big fashion and name brands and things like that. I personally thought it was a costume. However, Bronwyn's choice of words were pretty bad. I don't think that I would have ever said, hey, nice costume, anywhere except for maybe a Halloween costume party, which, by the way, this Halloween, I'm going to be Freddy Krueger. Anyway, I don't know. But anyway, okay, I'm Freddy Krueger this Halloween. I just think that Bronwyn is being mean. Leave the girl the hell alone. So while they're in the car, Lisa gets a call from Angie, and she asked Bronwyn to be quiet. Don't say a word while she's in the car. And I said, well, what? That sounds like something someone says when they're talking to their mistress. My wife is on the phone. Be quiet. Don't say nothing. You know what I mean? That seemed weird to me. If I'm friends with a group of girls, you don't have to be quiet when I get on the phone with Angie. Say whatever you want. Anyway, Angie calls her because she thinks that their relationship is, getting out of hand. There's some things that they may need to discuss, and she wants to know if Lisa can meet up with her later. Lisa kind of plays her kind of rude, I thought. I'm out running a few errands, I'll call ya. I said, oh gosh, here we go. Then we see that she picks up Heather, and they head off to the Wendy's. And I said, well, I understand. Normally Lisa is the Taco Bell girl, but recently we've seen that she had 1 or 2 commercials with Wendy's. So, if you're getting a sponsor deal with Wendy's, to hell with you, Taco Bell. However, Taco Bell, call me. Maybe Heather is going to pick up the Taco Bell endorsement. I have no idea. We move over to Mary's house, and Mary still has an attitude with Brandy as well. Brandy called her poor. I think that Mary is taking this a little too far. Now, Mary is great for comic relief. There were quite a few things that she said through the episode that I thought was hilarious. Vintage Mary. Okay, Mary is actually doing better this season, I think. She's coming to the events. She's acting nice to some people. But Mary, I don't think the woman was calling you poor at all. She said that she grew up poor. When you were telling her that you didn't have enough, she had no idea that your mom was just hanging out in the streets and not taking care of you and your siblings. She has no idea, and I think that you're projecting onto this woman. She never said that you were poor. She was trying to identify. Most times if you're speaking to someone, if you think about it, if you're speaking to someone and they tell you, yeah, it was 5 of us and it wasn't a lot to go around, or we just didn't have enough, wouldn't you assume that they were financially challenged? You know what I mean? Wouldn't you assume that they just didn't have enough money? Because rich people don't say that. It was five of us and we just didn't have enough. We had, 3 million in the bank, but we didn't have enough groceries. You don't normally hear rich people say that. So I don't blame her. Now, when she called Mary a hoarder, I said, no, not the right term. Costume and hoarder, 2 words you should just remove out of that conversation. I think that she probably would have said, I am truly sorry about the costume comment, and I am really sorry about the hoarder comment, if they would have given her a chance. But the way they tag team the woman, give Brittany a chance. That's all I'm saying. Now, Mary and her son, okay, I have problems. I have problems with this. Now, I do not like to mom shame. I do not like to mom critique, okay? But it's something about Mary and her relationship with her son that drives me a little bit crazy. Last year, she didn't know if the boy was married or not, but he had his girlfriend living in the house / possible wife. You are a pastor. I don't know too many pastors who allow their children to move their boyfriend or girlfriend into the house. Now, that's your business. That's your house. I don't pay rent there. But I thought that was a little weird. And not to mention, last year he was all over the internet, getting high, smoking weed, toting guns with his friends and his girlfriend wife. Now here we are this year. He is 22 years old, the same age as my son, who is in college. This is his senior year. He'll be graduating and I will be, the happiest mom on the planet. Anyway, this young man of Mary's is living in her house, eating all of her food, getting money from her, and he doesn't have a job. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Get a damn paper route. Do something. See if you can work over there at the Wendy's. Something. You are not about to be 22 years old with your live-in girlfriend / wife at my house, eating all my donuts, running up my electricity bill, playing video games, and not having a job. That is a no-go for me. I do understand a mama's love, but at some point you have to put your foot down and teach him to be a responsible grown-up. He is going to have to learn his way and earn his way through this world, and I feel that Mary is enabling him. That is my opinion. I could be wrong, but that is my opinion. We all have one. Get down in the comments and tell me what your opinion is. Am I being too hard on Mary? Am I being too hard on Robert Jr.? That's just my opinion. Now, Lisa, when she gets there to pick up Heather, when they go through the Wendy's line, she bitches that they gave her an extra Diet Coke, and they don't have enough cup holders to take this extra Diet Coke. Girl, I would have held that Diet Coke, okay? No, ma'am. I should have returned it. That's the nice thing to do, but I probably wouldn't. Anyway, Lisa's in the car talking about she gave Whitney so much grace. I said, what grace? Do you even know what grace is? I don't think you gave Whitney grace at all. I really don't. Lisa, to me, sometimes she's just so extra. Lisa is the type of friend that would just be too much work. I could not do it. I can't sit around blowing up your self-esteem all day. It's just something that I could not do. Do I think that Lisa Barlow is a beautiful woman? Absolutely. Do I think she dresses better than anybody else on the show? Absolutely. Do I think she's got a great family and a really good business mind? Absolutely. But do I also think that she's a narcissist? Absolutely. She is very self-centered and everything in the world has to revolve around her. And, that's just not the real world. She bothers me. Now, Bronwyn trying to act as if they didn't gang up on Whitney is an absolute lie. I have no idea where she was that evening, but Lisa, Heather, and Meredith absolutely ganged up on Whitney. That was a pile-on if I have ever seen one. Now, did Whitney deserve it? Yes. But just call it what it is. You all joined forces. It was like Wonder Powers, activate. We are about to take her down. And that's exactly how that went. Even that, why do they think Angie kept saying, you guys are ganging up one at a time, one at a time? They really were going in on this woman at the same time. And I have to agree with Heather, which I don't agree with Heather a lot, but I have to agree with Heather when she says that it's very weird that Bronwyn has such strong opinions about these ladies in this group that she just joined. She was joking about Whitney. Whitney supposedly, in Bronwyn's eyes, she planned that whole, do you want to see a healing Whitney? And then she was telling Lisa that she thinks that Lisa is absolutely right about the way that Angie was acting and the way Angie was treating Lisa. But then later in the episode, we see her telling Angie that she had every right to be upset with Lisa. And I said, oh, we got a flip-flopper. Bronwyn, I'm on the fence with her. And I think that when Whitney goes back and plays the seasons and sees all the episodes again, especially these last 2 episodes, she's going to see why she was at the end at the table when Heather was sticking up for Brandy, when Whitney was trying to say, oh, Bronwyn already told me that. I think that you're reading this wrong. I think you're putting the wrong energy into this. You're going to be sorry that you stood up for her. And Angie too. When they get to Meredith and Seth, and Meredith says in her confessionals that Seth was working for some company in Columbus, Ohio. So one of my good girlfriends, she watches The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City as well. And she says, Meredith said that Seth works for a business here in Columbus. She said, I did a little Googling, a little research, and she believes that it's Big Lots. Okay, so if you didn't know, I live in Columbus, Ohio. So does my friend. So that's why she was so interested. And she believes that Seth works at the Big Lots. Welcome to Columbus, Seth. Anyway, Seth and Meredith go for some sort of cooking class, and it seemed to me as if it was a filler. This was something that they did for storyline purposes. She decides that she's going to, have a bar mitzvah. She's getting back into her religion and her culture, and I think that's beautiful. She did say that this is something that is typically done when you're 12 or 13, and she just didn't do it, but she's ready to move forward, and, bless her and her family. And I hope that she can, get back in touch with her culture and how she was raised and her religion. And I hope it all works out beautifully for her. But for some reason, it feels storyline driven. So when Angie and Lisa meets up, I'm going to tell you right now, there is no way in hell. No way, no chance ever that Lisa and I would ever have a conversation like this. First of all, Lisa did not let Angie get a word in edgewise. She was talking fast and she was talking loud. And I said, is this her way of trying to win this argument? Is this her way of thinking that she's an iconic housewife? Is this her moment? Because Angie could not get a word in. And she was screaming, talking about she's so shocked how Angie doesn't care about her feelings. And she's been such a good friend to her. And I said, okay, we're on season 5. And I promise you, in at least 3 of the last seasons, we have heard Lisa say this about a different housewife every season, that she is really a good friend to her and she's not a good friend to me. Who is the common denominator here? It's Lisa. Now, Lisa did have a point when she told Angie that she was having a conversation with her and she didn't expect her conversation to go back to somebody else. Now, what I'm going to say is this. We have seen Lisa carry information before. Okay, and Angie is carrying information as well. And I also noticed that Angie is the center snowflake this season. I said, so Angie must have had a real good season this season. Anyway, in a regular girl group, I understand that. If I'm sitting here and I'm having a conversation with Sam, I do not expect Sam to go back and tell Kim. Don't do that. I just had this conversation with you. When I'm ready for Kim to know it, I will tell her. I understand that. But with them being on the Housewives and Lisa doing this all the time as well, Angie's going to tell. Angie's excuse for why she told sounds like a lie. She says that she only told Whitney because she knew that Whitney owed Lisa an apology, and she was trying to just give Whitney Lisa's side of the situation in the hopes that Whitney would apologize to Lisa. I don't buy it. I think that was a lie. I think that you just wanted to have something to talk about and to start something. But, that's housewife business. I just think that Angie should not have told Whitney anything that Lisa said, and she shouldn't tell Lisa anything that Whitney said. And just let them fight it out. That's their business. Lisa screaming at her and being rude and dismissive and just talking to her as if she has no rights to explain herself or get her feelings off her chest, and then deciding to just get up and walk out. Before Lisa got 7 words in, I would have picked up my purse and left. No, ma'am. When you are ready to listen, I'll be here to talk. So over at Bronwyn's house, we meet her husband, Todd. Todd is a businessman. He is rich. He used to be the CEO of Palm, which were the designers and developers of the Palm Pilot. Yeah, he seems like a nice man that's 27 years older than her. I really hated her home decor. Her decor looked a lot like Mary's. I said, no wonder her and Mary get along. And that chair statue that she spent all that money for, I just looked at it and I said, but why? You could have got your 17-year-old to go down to Home Goods, buy some chairs and some super glue, and set that up in the dining room. No, ma'am, I didn't love it. Not at all. Now, when Heather and Whitney go out, Heather says she feels so bad about the pile on. She tells Whitney when they go into the crystal store, she said, you can have any crystals you want, up to $500. I said, $500? No, ma'am, you shouldn't feel that sorry. Hell no, you can have any crystal you want, up to $50. Okay, what the hell? Not me, girl. Whitney's talking about her feelings, and Heather says, listen, I'm sorry. You use other people's feelings against them, but then you want us to forget when your feelings are involved. Heather gets all the points. Heather gets all the points for me. Whitney is really good at using other people's situations, acting as if she cares, she's there for them, and then turning the shit around on them. Whitney continues to call Lisa a villain, but Whitney is a villain too. Both of them are. And most times, it's Whitney that's being the main villain of the show. She lets Heather know that Trixie, remember last season, they were at Trixie's motel that looked like Barbie, But this year, they're going to Milwaukee because Trixie has a bar. I said, now that ought to be interesting. I wonder if it's all pink. Anyway, Whitney tells Heather that her and Bronwyn had a great conversation, and Bronwyn was very supportive of her and that she understood what Whitney was going through. And Heather was shocked. She said, what? And I said, yeah, Bronwyn is coming off as a little bit fake. She really is, but I'm interested in seeing how that goes. Now, what was really weird is when Heather went to play pickleball with Brittany, she says that she's back together with Jared Osmond. And I said, but why? You just said that y'all were together for 8 months and broke up 16 times. Nobody wants that. Girl, please move on with your life. You were acting like a 17-year-old, for sure. We find out that she's a Mormon, but she's been divorced twice. I thought the Mormons really frowned upon divorce, but twice divorce? Personally, I don't care. If you're not happy, divorce. Anyway, she says that she met Jared after her ex-husband and her broke up because her ex-husband started dating Jared's ex-fiance. So they decided to console each other, and then they ended up as a couple for 8 months, and they broke up 16 times. Anyway, Heather tells her, why is she never single? And I was thinking the same thing. Why don't you take some time between relationships? Most times, if you break up with someone, you should take a moment and just kind of heal before you jump into another relationship. When you jump into something too quick, the shit ends up bad. That's all I'm saying. She tells Heather that a lot of times she sacrificed her relationships with her children for a man. And I said, wait. No, ma'am. I will drop somebody like a hot potato. If my child don't like you, I don't like you either. No, ma'am. I said, sacrifice, that's such a big word. You sacrificed your relationship with your children for a man. And when Heather asked her, wait a minute, what is the backstory here? How did this happen? She says it's too long of a story and she'll tell her later. Heather says that she understands because in the Mormon religion, in order for you to go to heaven, you have to be a wife. She said, you don't have to have children to go to heaven, but you do have to have a husband. And I said, now, wait a minute. I don't knock anybody's religion. I really don't. But that there That there burned me up. That pissed me off. So if I don't have a husband, I'm going to hell? Is that what you're saying? I'm stuck in purgatory? I'm never going to make it to the pearly gates of heaven? And if I do get to the gates, somebody's going to say, no, ma'am, you weren't good enough for a husband. You got to go. What? I'm not here for the bullshit. I didn't love it. Angry as hell about it. No, ma'am. Then somehow we head over to Angie's salon. Bronwyn is in there getting her hair done. First of all, this is Angie's 10th location, she said. That salon was beautiful. Angie and her husband, they are doing it. Okay, if you can have 10 salons, you must be really good. You know what the hell is going on. I tell you, I appreciate that about her. She must have a serious business mind. Love it. That's when we see Bronwyn telling her that she understands, Lisa was a little too aggressive. Lisa, is hard to deal with sometimes. She was team Angie. Not one complaint about Angie. And I love your scroll. I mean, it was a lot going on. I was just looking at her thinking, girl. At some point, all of this is going to come back. And all of this is going to come out. You are doing a lot, little Bronwyn lady. But, we'll see what happens. Bronwyn did call Brittany stupid, and I didn't like it. She said, I don't like to call another woman stupid, but she's so stupid. She said, I bet she can't even spell YSL. I don't like that. I really don't. She called your outfit a costume. Move on from it. Start anew. Let the woman live. Then they go to this high up in the air obstacle course thing as a group. And Mary says, if somebody falls, is that just over? Are they gone? And Whitney says, no, I'm pretty sure there's going to be a harness or something. I said, well, I certainly hope so. Mary Cosby. Nobody wants to get on that thing without a harness. And I was completely shocked that Mary did it. I was waiting for her to say no, because I would have said no. I'll cheer you on from down below. I don't love heights. No. Or small places. Not at all. Meredith made up some kind of crap about tennis elbow or something. I said, girl, just say you don't want to do it. Mary was acting ridiculous. She was being rude to Brittany. Mary says that Brittany assumed she was poor, but she also assumes that Brittany is not the sharpest knife in the drawer. She says, as a matter of fact, she's not the sharpest spoon either. I said, oh my God, yet another person called this woman stupid. Whitney talking about hand jobs while they're on this obstacle course. Heather says, please watch your mouth. There's children working here. And I was thinking the same thing. They're teenagers. I'm pretty sure they know about hand jobs and things like that. But it's not appropriate to speak about it in front of them. They may not know about it. And now you have got them thinking about it. I'm just saying, just watch your damn mouth. You wouldn't want anybody saying that in front of your little tiny boy. Mary then made another comment. I think she was fat shaming somebody again, because her and Lisa were next to each other, and Lisa said, is that somebody right there? I don't know who that was. And Mary said, no, because she was thinner than that. And I said, what is your problem with people who are not the weight that you want them to be? Leave people's weight alone. I think that Mary has a problem with people who are overweight. She just doesn't like them or something. I think it's disgusting.
Ting, 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 ting. All right, talkers. For those of you who know, my relationship drama has been on again, off again. And so last night, Jared took me out, and then we bought matching jewelry at Louis Vuitton.
Oh.
And then he officially asked me to be his girlfriend.
Oh my God.
And he made it Instagram official, which doesn't sound like a big deal, but it is a huge deal because he's never posted about anyone ever.
But the Instagram I saw, he said, my best friend, and you guys were at Costco. I'm not giving up anything to go to Costco with some guy who's gonna clean my ass.
Nobody's going to take any shine away from Costco, certainly not me. And while a Costco cart has meaning to a lot of people, and certainly in my life, I don't think it's the declaration of love that most young girls are looking for.
My best friend at Costco was the big gesture.
Oh, wait, is this the post? You're not official. Brittany, you're not official.
I want you to be happy for me.
I was not rude.
You were
I don't even know you.
rude.
You said you identified me with poor.
I never called you poor.
Yes, you did.
I don't have any idea how you grew up.
You don't. I don't care about you and your boyfriend. I don't know why that has to be announced to me. I don't care.
That is so
I don't think
rude.
most of us care.
Isn't this a group of friends?
I don't know. I don't even know you.
Now, I was so overly embarrassed by Brittany and the announcement that her and Jared were back together and they were Instagram official. All I could think of was one of my friend's children had gotten in a relationship with somebody, and she was so excited that he had posted it to Instagram, and she was, 16. No ma'am. I just didn't love it. And I thought to myself, why are you making this announcement? Why do the rest of the girls need to hear this? We don't care. And Mary said it best. She said, we don't care. Why are you talking about this? I mean, I have to agree with all the girls. This is not commitment. He posted a picture of you, your grown ass, inside of a Costco cart. What the hell were you doing in that cart with your grown self? If I was an employee of Costco, I would have threw you the hell out. You grown woman, this is some sort of hazard. You could fall out of this cart or something. You've got to go, ma'am. They're in the Costco cart and he's talking about shopping with his best friend. He didn't say I'm shopping with the love of my life. No, ma'am. And Bronwyn said it right. She said, I'm not giving up anything for some guy who's pushing me around in a Costco cart and doesn't want to claim me. Okay, here for Bronwyn. Then Lisa says, you're not official. And, it's not official. Lisa says, you're doing too much. This doesn't seem right. I don't understand a grown woman with children and 2 ex-husbands being excited because she's being pushed in a cart at the Costco and he said you were his best friend. No, ma'am, get the hell out of here with this. It's time to break up. Lisa was honest with her and she said, I feel like Jared is absolutely working you over a little bit. I think that you love him a lot more than he loves you. And this Costco post is not claiming. He's not claiming you at all. Whitney jumps in and tells her, listen, you've talked to me several times about your relationship with him. And when I met with him, he didn't seem to be, as into you as you are to him. I felt for her.
Like personal issues, because my neither daughter will talk to me.
Why?
Oh, it's so complicated and it's really, really personal. And
But you trust us about your boyfriend?
well, you just told me you don't like me or want anything to do with me,
I didn't say
and I
that.
don't. So I don't want to share my personal
Lord,
details with
you're
you.
very difficult. You need some soul searching, babe. Mary's not wrong.
I'm kind.
If you're kind, why can't you make amends with your children? It kind of bothers me. It's kind of a little bit of a trigger for me. Like, it just reminds me of my mom. My mom, she cared about having a man, but she forgot she had 5 kids at home.
Oh, you have no idea what you're talking about.
And I don't care.
You just shut up.
Shut me up.
You seriously?
Shut me up.
You cannot
You
hit
shut me
so
up.
below the belt.
Shut me up. You make
Don't
me
you
shut up.
ever
Put your
bring
finger
up
down.
my
You're not,
kids
just shut up.
ever
You
again.
shut up. How about that? You just shut up.
But I am not attacking you as a mom. There cannot be anything lower or meaner than that.
I'd like to learn something about Brittany that didn't feel unhinged. That's how I feel about Brittany right now.
Wait, excuse me? Say that again?
Everything I've learned about you so far feels chaotic AF. I'm
And
sorry.
why is that?
You're on again, you're off again, you're in a Costco cart, you've called her poor, you've called me a hoarder. So all I know about you is the party, and you came in there hot and wild. I'm sorry, you did.
Hot and wild?
Yeah.
You were team Lisa and were saying
That's not true.
horrible things about Whitney.
Are you serious?
And that made me feel like you were being two-faced to Lisa and me and two-faced to Whitney.
What did she say about me?
Talking about when you said,
Something
this
that
is
was
a
rehearsed.
healed Whitney, and you
Yes.
said you had tears of laughter crying from your eyes.
I said I laughed at this girl, and I did tell you that too.
Truly, if that's all Bronwyn said, she's admitted it to my face.
Lisa, is this all being conflated into one
I'm not trying to
conversation?
conflate anything.
But the way that you're saying it's really messy and confusing.
When you said to me, Bronwyn met with me and she was totally supportive, I said, really, that surprises me. Because of the lunch we went to, and you were in that lunch. Yeah, I left that car feeling like everything you said was a little bit poisonous, especially about Whitney, especially about Maylee. And to find out when I went,
Did you leave the car feeling that way? It was all
I think
too
you have
much.
a different way of speaking.
All right, so you just saw that. I don't get it. I don't understand the Brittany hates. First of all, Bronwyn jumping in to back Mary up. This is the second time that you have jumped in to back Mary up against Brittany. What is your problem with her? She says Brittany called her a hoarder. No, she didn't. She said Mary was the hoarder, not you. Why are you so offended that she called your jacket a costume? It has to be more than this. I also blame Heather for this. Heather jumping in thinking that she's trying to save her friend, brings up her issues with her past marriages and her children, and then opens up this discussion, which I can understand the moms being interested. You know, if I'm sitting in a group of girls and we find out that you've been divorced twice and you are estranged from your children, of course we're going to want to know. Am I going to be the one that asks? No. But of course people are going to want to know. I think that Mary was triggered by Brittany, triggered by her not having a relationship with her children, and I understand it. But you can't project onto this woman. You cannot bring your issues with your mother and put it on her. We don't know the full ins and outs of what's going on with Brittany and her children. Do I approve of her picking men over her children? Absolutely not. Do I wish the best for her and her children? Absolutely. I don't know what the situation is, but I thought that that was very hurtful and wrong for Mary to jump in and throw her opinions on that woman and to be so smart and in your face about it. Now, her pointing in Mary's face and everything, I understand that she's upset, but get your hands up out my face. And, you know, Mary is not the one. She really isn't. She's not the one or the two. So I think that Brittany would have had her hands full with Mary. Mary came right off the rip with shut me up. Mary is not somebody that is going to sit back and relax while you get loud and smart. But I think that Mary was wrong for doing that. I think that Heather was wrong for jumping in, putting this woman's business out there, and then trying to blow up Bronwyn's spot. Heather was not the one for it. First of all, you didn't come with any information except for she laughed about Whitney and the flipping the bird. Where's the rest of it? You started out the conversation saying that Bronwyn was talking bad about Whitney. We must have didn't get to see all of it, but you should have told what it was. Come with it. Say what it is. You didn't come prepared for this argument. Whitney and Angie being supportive of Bronwyn, I think they're going to regret that later. I think that Bronwyn contradicts herself a lot, and I think that she is critiquing and sitting on Brittany's neck, and she's using Brittany for her storyline this season. I don't know. I have a feeling that Bronwyn is a huge fan of the show. She came in with a lot of opinions. Didn't it seem as if Whitney just assumed that Heather was lying? I know that Whitney and Heather's relationship is not the same anymore, but don't just automatically become Team Bronwyn because you like this young lady. You don't really know her yet. She is coming off as untrustworthy and a flip-flopper, in my opinion. I hope that I'm not misjudging Bronwyn. To me, it just seems so unnecessary to jump in and talk about her life being chaotic AF, and she's in a Costco card, and she called you a hoarder when she didn't call you a hoarder. And, she's just doing too damn much. I don't understand. And I think that a lot of these girls need to just grow some sort of backbone. Stop allowing people to disrespect you on a regular basis, especially Lisa Barlow. I don't understand what is going on with these ladies. And then when Whitney brings up that they're all going to be going out to the Trixie bar, Meredith says she'll have to let her know. Meredith, if you don't want to go, just don't go. Stop playing these stupid games. Meredith didn't contribute much to this outing anyway. I don't know. I have a feeling that it's going to be Bronwyn and Mary all season, tag teaming the hell out of Brittany. I hope not. You guys get down in the comments and let me know what you think. And until next time, bye.